Happy Halloween, Jason.
Hey, Evan, how you doing?
Pretty good. What are you looking at?
I'm just looking for a movie to watch for our review. I wanted to ask you, though, what's with all the dust?
It's spooky. Anyway, you need a movie.
Yeah, you have anything in mind?
Well, I can think of something to watch.
You want to watch that?
Baby!
Dude, what about this?
Well, perhaps, gentlemen, we can watch the 1997 Jim Carrey comedy classic, Liar Liar, with the audio commentary by director Tom Shadyac.
Is that Tom Shadyac? There he is.
Hey, cats, while we put on our leather and check out Outsiders.
Actually, can I suggest the third best portrayal of the Punisher?
Third.
The third best portrayal of the Punisher was John Travolta.
Samurai X, Trust and Betrayal. His hands were ruthless, but he has a gentle heart. That's what it says. I didn't make that up. Just watch the movie. Come on. Let's just do it. Who cares? I don't care. Nobody cares about me.
Nobody cares about you.
Chris.
It's alright.
I like anime movies.
Tom Shadyac cares.
Oh, hey, she has leather, too.
There's a lot of leather in
there's
this
another-
movie.
I mean, the Terminator's the ultimate He's wearing a leather greaser. jacket right
Is
here.
there leather in
There's
this?
multiple.
I mean,
Fuck you.
probably. I don't care.
I mean,
Hey guys, how's it going? May I suggest a book instead?
Hey, who's the nerd?
I don't know.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I've never seen that kid before in my life.
Like him or him.
Looks like a hologram.
Who's that guy?
I'm scared.
Oh.
I guess he was.
So you like ghosts, I see.
Spooky times.
You can talk to the hand.
Guys. I know what we're watching. This is the perfect one. This is what we're watching. This is the best.
But Dan, which one?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another special video review here on Blah Blah Podcast. Hopefully you found this on our YouTube channel, aptly named Blah Blah Podcast, the only show on the web that'll make you sick and tired of pop culture stuff. I am Jason Green. With me, as always, is Evan Moore.
Oh, guys, the second time on a video review you've done it. Can we let go of this thing now?
Well, oh, sorry, I didn't even
yeah,
notice. Oh,
Done
yeah.
touching tips, right?
Done touching tips.
All right.
Also with us today is Dan Katz.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm here.
Also with us is Chris Holshoe.
Get used to it, people.
And rounding out this crew
Hashtag
is
give Spock a chance.
Magic Mike Dowling. How do you do? So what brings
Is this
us?
also sponsored by Mike's Soft Lemonade?
Yeah. Good point. It should be sponsored by Mike Soft Lemonade.
It'll get you soft.
It'll get you soft, ladies and gentlemen. So the reason we brought you all here today is to come over here and touch this.
Nope.
Okay. Also, we watched a movie in time for the Halloween spirit. A movie that's in a lineage of usual good movies, but this one wasn't very good in particular. And that movie is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
So, Jason, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Have you seen the first one?
Just the first one. And this one, though.
Just the tip.
What did you think of this movie?
It just wasn't good at all. I mean, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street 1 a long time ago when it was on Netflix, and I remember liking it.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah. I remember liking it, thinking it was, really good, kind of cheesy by today's standards, but I found myself enjoying it. This was just, like, all over the place.
Did you catch any undertones in this movie?
I mean, the kid was a nerd.
What else?
Maybe some homosexual undertones.
Hey, got it! Yes!
Is that what this movie's about?
Yes.
oh, completely.
Oh,
This
really?
is totally.
Was that their intention going in?
I
Yes.
don't know, but we were hoping that you would figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we were all joking about it, but it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Careful, guys. I think he's.
Oh, that's how you close a drawer. What is this shit?
This is a great horror movie.
It is.
Are you scared?
Okay, yeah, I'm scared by him. He's gonna meet me at night. He seems to be really, like, terrorized over Freddy. And there it is.
So this movie is notorious in horror communities for being a closeted movie. Is that
There's lots of symbolic references to coming out and not being understood. And
Yeah.
If you want to play with animals, Mr. Walsh, join the circus.
Yeah.
And his coach liked having things up his ass.
But actually,
Yeah, his coach was
the
dressed like
underage children at the gay leather bar.
This coach was dressed in like a dominatrix outfit or something like
His
that.
coach got whipped in the ass to death,
So
which
this
is a real thing that does happen.
This is very much a undertones of homosexuality.
See, what actually
they were
happened is
undertone.
they
They seemed
really
over.
didn't realize how gay they made the movie. I'm not even kidding. Like until after it was out, and
Yeah.
people
It
were
was
talking
just like,
about
whoa.
it. It was like, oh man, like
And we're not being offensive or exaggerating. Watch this scene.
There's something inside of me. And last night it made me go to my sister's room. And tonight with Lisa on the cabana, it started to happen again.
I think you are seriously losing it, bro.
I'm scared, Grady. Something is trying to get inside my body.
Yeah, and she's female and she's waiting for you in the cabana. And you want to sleep with me.
I think the lead actor
the lead
even
actor
said he's
was
like
gay,
he
but
knew.
he wasn't out at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He knew that something was going to be weird about it, and then it just turned into.
And that was the last time Joel Schumacher directed a horror movie ever.
But let's run down this movie. So this is the second movie in the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
And they clearly haven't defined
Yeah.
the rules of what Freddy can and can't do yet.
It stars a high school kid who the actor was probably 35 at the time. That's how it usually is. But his name's Jesse. I don't know the actor's name, but the character's name is Jesse, and he's plagued with horrible dreams of Freddy Krueger killing him. And then the dreams slowly start turning into reality, and they slowly start turning into him, which is a pretty cool idea if you think about it. But
It's done so badly.
it's it's executed very poorly. Now,
I think you should go over the characters.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's Jesse's girl.
who looks just like Meryl Streep,
Yes.
Yeah.
like to a T.
Meryl Streep.
There's the part at the end of the film where Freddy's on top of her and she's going like, and she just looks just like Meryl Streep.
Just like Meryl Sheep.
Meryl Sheep.
Kill me, Lisa. Please kill me.
That vagina's talking to her.
Tear him apart, Lisa!
It sort of seemed like this probably
Snowball.
was written with a female lead in mind, and then they just changed it.
That's a good
You know what?
point.
Yeah.
We were watching that one video on YouTube, and they were saying that a lot of the horror movies in the 80s were defined by women fighting off men with
Yes.
phallic objects. Like,
But for real,
Like
like, that's a real
knives, like
thing.
Halloween. And that was kind of a metaphor. And they're all virgins. It was like a metaphor for coming of age. And I think they have the same tropes with a male character.
And that's
so
what makes it seem gay.
It's overtly...
Yeah.
That character
He's
archetype
fighting
is supposed to be a
himself.
virginly woman.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it feels like if they and there's a lot of horror movies that have male leads, but this always stood out before I even caught on to like any of those undertones. Like I always thought it was weird that the second movie in the series had a male lead and is the only movie in the series that has a male lead.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of horror
they
movies
went to the
don't
well
have
once, Like,
Yeah,
Friday
that
the
didn't
13th
work.
They
Friday
wrote
the
it-
13th had like a three movie run where it has Tommy Jarvis.
The sixth one for a little bit had that male lead.
Oh yeah, the
and then
fake
they
out.
yeah.
In Freddy's Dead, they did have a fake out of a character that
Which
was
is
the lead
so
for half
obvious.
the movie, and then he dies.
Well, hold
Yeah.
on. In Friday the 13th one with Crispin Glover, I thought he was the lead of the movie
And then
until
he
he got
dies.
corkscrewed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey Ted, where's the corkscrew?
Marty.
Ted, where's the corkscrew?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It has all this other shit.
Yeah.
before
Guys,
it.
shut up. This is the part where he meets E.T.
So we got the overtly gay conversation out of the way. So let's dig down into why this movie.
Let's
doesn't
break.
work.
Let's
talk
break
about how racist it is.
let's break down why it doesn't work compared to the good Nightmare on Elm Street movies, because there's other bad ones too. Like Mike was telling me, 5.
There's 3 good Nightmare on Elm Street movies. 1, 3,
And
and
2.
New Nightmare.
Which one's that? Is that 7?
No, yeah, 1, 3, and 7. Dream Warriors is 3, New Nightmare is 7.
4's okay.
4 is okay. 5
Just
is
okay.
not.
Freddy's
Yeah.
Revenge is pretty good.
No,
Yeah, it is.
neither is Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare.
See how much
Do you
fun we had
consider-
watching Freddy's Revenge? That's why it's good. Like,
Yeah.
It's like the best one to watch with an audience.
No,
It
I would say
really
6
is.
would probably be better to watch with an audience.
3 is the best
Two-part
one.
That's just
question. Do you
goofy.
consider Freddy vs. Jason to be like a Freddy Krueger movie?
Then it's the best of
Yeah.
the series.
And that was my follow-up question.
Yeah.
Where would that rank?
That was a
It
good movie.
won.
I saw that one
That's
too.
the best Nightmare
I
on Elm
really-
Street and the best Friday the 13th.
I really like
movie.
Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh,
Honestly,
fuck you.
I actually, I've seen, like, I liked it when I was younger. younger, but Freddy vs. Jason is just diminished in time for me.
I haven't watched it in recent
fun.
It's closer to a nightmare movie than a Friday the 13th movie.
But I think we can all agree that Alien vs. Predator is the best Alien and Predator
The original
movie.
Nightmare on Elm Street is still a better movie than Freddy vs. Jason.
I'm so scared! I'm so scared right now, guys.
Whoa.
Guys, I'm so scared. This is too much.
What? Okay, let's break down as to why this Nightmare on Elm Street doesn't work compared to the other ones.
There's
Now,
no rules.
Yeah, I was about to say, Evan, you said there's a set of rules that
Yeah.
in this movie, since this is early on in the series,
Yeah.
they don't establish the rules yet. So I guess it obviously gets better as they establish a set of boundaries.
What makes horror movies work for me is always a set of rules. There's always a way to kill the villain. There's always things they can and can't do and places they can and can't go. In the first Nightmare on Elm Street, it's pretty clearly defined. Freddy gets you in your dreams, and anything that you grab onto in your dreams, you can bring out into the real world. And that's how Nancy brings him out.
And he's
But hold on, I want to contest that though, because that's how it worked when he was a dream demon.
Yeah.
But after she pulled him out into the real world, things changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, weirdly
But
weak.
so in the context of this film, he's already been pulled out. He might just be
out.
Out.
came out?
He came out.
Oh, I get it! Oh.
He came out. But with it's just the second movie in. You don't really have the context. I feel like it was a lot more believable then than it is now after
Well,
so
yeah,
many more
because
films
in
have come
3
out.
it almost retcons it back to Freddy's in the dream world and you can't pull him out yet. So I guess that point makes sense.
Coming off the
you
second
didn't have
one.
all the other movies explaining the rules to it, so it's just like in this movie they had the carryover of Nancy's diary explaining that all the power that he got was because she was scared of him, and this dude was terrified because of obviously Freddy, but then the undertones that we already discussed, he was not
Plus,
a stable person. So
something that franchise is famous for is it blurs the lines between am I awake or am I asleep.
But this one's overtly I'm awake.
This one like doesn't have that many dream sequences compared.
Well, early on in the film, like with the coach being slaughtered, I
Yeah.
feel like you could make the argument maybe that was a dream.
I think it did I will give this film credit, and I think it did a good job of making you guess, oh, is this a dream scene or not? Like the scene with the birds, for example. That whole time I'm thinking, like, he's going to wake up and scream like a girl again in his room and be covered in sweat, like in that scene from Airplane when the guy's covered in sweat.
We didn't go over how sweaty they were.
Oh, dude, he was
There was
sweaty.
a lot of sweat in this movie.
A lot of sweat in this movie.
They probably used as much fake sweat in this movie as they did fake blood in the last one.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the scene with the birds ended up being real, and that's when the Freddy's power started bleeding over into the real world.
Also, I think Alfred Hitchcock, if he wasn't dead, should sue because he used lovebirds too, and that came out way before. I want justice. Give Hitchcock a chance. Hashtag.
Yeah. So this movie is by far, and when you watch all the other ones, and again, there's more bad ones than good ones. But when you watch this,
Case
this
with
really,
most franchises.
yeah, this really is the black sheep of the series. And there's a reason that most people, when you think Nightmare on Elm Street, the one that your mind doesn't go to is Freddy's Revenge. More people are familiar with Dream Warriors or Dream Master or Dream Childs. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's like a blank spot that people forget about if they haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Like,
you can actually take this one out of the series and go 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, and it makes perfect sense.
Because
there's no continuity.
I mean, 3 through 3 you already have carrying over Nancy from the first one,
And
and
then
then
her dad,
3
too.
through 5
Are direct
have
sequels.
they actually share characters moving forward.
Even though that character dies at the beginning of the
Yeah,
following
but I mean,
years.
like a character from 3 is what in 4 and dies, and then the character from 4 becomes the lead
Yeah.
in 5.
Did they ever mention Freddy's Revenge again?
No.
And that idea that he's already out of the dream world and everything, like that never comes back.
Let's fuck on my bearskin rug.
Yeah, they're still up.
Yes, they can't see us!
They're still upstairs. They're still upstairs and the windows are open. Let's change the music and get louder. Let's keep them up. Oh, yeah.
Oh man, it says beer on it.
So Jesse has two important people in his life. He has his soon-to-be girlfriend,
Jesse's girl,
Meryl Streep, and he has his best friend, the guy who looks like John
name's
Stamos,
Liz.
who he does like really like wimpy push-ups with. And the person who's making him do the push-ups is the coach. This coach is a bastard, because not really. I mean, maybe he has a father. I don't know. But
that's something common with Freddy then.
so then there's the one scene where Jesse goes out in the rain for some reason, goes to that biker bar, and then
it's overtly a gay bar.
Yeah.
No,
It's-
it wasn't a gay bar. It was an S&M bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There were definitely
wait,
women
was
in
an
there.
SNL bar?
Yes, you saw whatever the
Keenan
people's
Thompson.
names are who's escaped me.
Yeah. And then, so the coach from his school who has some fixation towards him meets him at this S&M bar, and then like takes him back to the gym, makes him.
Did you say asphyxiation and fixation? Because asphyxiation
Was
would be
the coach
like
in that bar?
choking him.
Yeah, that was the
he
coach.
was wearing the
Him at
fucking
bar. And he's
leather.
like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
underage kid at the bar. I'm gonna take you and punish you."
So I
Yeah,
think,
it wasn't just some random middle-aged
Yeah,
man
who
at the,
took him to
at
the gym.
S&M bar.
That went right over my head.
but like this is the point of the movie, like where it's like, okay, it's not a reference to being gay. There's like a gay character, and it's portrayed so homophobically that like this gay guy in a bar is like the same as the bastard coach, and then he gets whipped in the ass. Like it's so.
It's
I would
gay,
say that
but
was
not in a good way.
nonchalantly.
Yeah,
Like
not
not like a coming out movie
Yeah.
that embraces it. It's
Yeah.
almost like
suppress
mean-spirited.
it, and it's mean, and it's stereotypical.
Yeah, his dad is like, you can tell the way his dad's acting with him the whole movie.
Oh, his
Yeah,
dad is a
he's-
character all in himself.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, oh, you made those birds go crazy, didn't you, Jesse?
And then the toast goes on fire, and he's just like, "This is the craziest thing I've ever seen."
Wasn't even
Birds
plugged
are,
in.
I see birds blow up all
he
the
still
time.
has the scar band-aid on his face for being attacked by the lovebird. Hashtag Hitchcock.
Oh! That's Gene Simmons' tongue. His dick came out of his mouth.
Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't happen a lot.
Use it! Use this new power. You are a god, sir!
Gene Simmons tongue.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really
Freddie
what the point
tongue
I'm
comes
making. He
out.
has a
Yeah.
real gross tongue.
Yeah.
You know,
He
who
doesn't use it.
He doesn't use it, and he
Who
loses it.
shouted "use it"? Was that Mike? Mike was like, "Use it."
You don't use it, you lose it. So he loses it, and he goes to he leaves Lisa's house, and he goes to his friend's house, and then he's all sweaty like he is the whole
Mom's
movie.
spaghetti.
And he's like, I need to stay here tonight. Like after
I
leaving
need
his
you to
girlfriend.
watch me, yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole
Well,
time you're like,
it's basically
they're not even
the same
hiding
kind
it.
of scene of when Nancy's trying to tell Glenn to watch her sleep, and then he falls asleep.
Like that should have been the girlfriend
Yeah.
character, or like the boyfriend character through the girl.
Is that just a double standard of our society that it works for girls, and you don't think, oh, they're a lesbian couple, but when guys do it, it's like
Basically.
that's really gay?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know,
It's
man.
just it's like so
But
weird.
yeah, I mean, if that had worked the exact opposite way,
Yeah.
no one would have thought twice. But
never-
it didn't.
But
And he's almost hooking up with this girl, and he leaves to go to his guy's friend's house.
But he goes into his house. He just goes.
He
into
breaks
Yeah,
in
he
and wakes
sneaks
him up.
in.
Yeah,
puts
he's
his
like, "Oh, I
hand
need
over
to
his
stay
mouth
with
while
you."
he's sleeping.
Like after running away from hooking up with the girl who's like really into it, he's like, and then
I
runs
need
away.
to sleep in your house, and I need you to stay up all night and watch me sleep.
Yeah.
Please.
Which is also
Yeah.
kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike,
and
can
then
you stay up
Freddy
and watch me
literally
sleep?
comes out of his body,
Yeah.
which is like
Okay,
the
absolutely.
suppression of.
Tonight.
Yeah.
This movie
Like,
sucks.
His movie,
This movie
his friend
sucks.
Ron,
Yeah.
like in a way, like when eventually Freddy comes out of Jesse and
Coming
He
out.
like
coming
ripped,
out.
which is pretty cool looking. I'll give it
Yeah.
that. He like
There was
rips
some
through
good-
his
there was some
body.
good
the effects in this
Yeah. It's
movie are
very John
actually
Carpenter-esque.
really good.
Yeah, it looked like the thing.
But when Ron gets killed, the death reaction when he realizes that Ron is dead, he is so heartbroken that this
He turns into Kramer.
like this friend of his is dead. Like that's
Gary.
another thing was just like it seems a little more than just it was his friend. Like seems like there's a little something more. Like Ron probably wasn't, but
He turns into Kramer.
He does. He goes. It's like there's something in my body.
I bumped Sacramento.
He doesn't turn into Nixon. But so then, what is it? The scene with the party happens afterwards,
yeah.
which is the big like.
kills Ron and then
Yeah.
party goes crazy.
Well,
It's
it's
so-
like in conjunction with.
Yeah. So a bunch of the rascally 35-year-old teenagers are having a pool party out in the back with the what's her name? Lisa. She's part of a rich family, and they have a big pool party going on as
I
the
think it might
parents.
have been her birthday or something. 'Cause there
Yeah.
was
There
a
was a
cake.
cake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was a cake.
Good point. And the parents go to bed, so they're like, "Well, let's bring out the beers." Whoa!
It's like, whoa, boy, they turned on their lights. Let's get the beers out.
Radical. Turn the music up. Switch the tape.
Pull out my radio flyer full of beer.
What is this Beethoven lame?
And then they start having a rowdy party, just like we all experienced
All
in
the
college.
tops come on.
Woo!
Everyone's making out.
And then Freddy crashes the party.
Boys are making out with girls. I gotta change that.
Turns the heat up.
Yeah, so Freddy turns the heat up in the pool. He just makes things blow up. The
Hot dogs explode.
hot dogs explode. The people run over that. That one guy got it. I mean, the dude got
That one
trampled
guy's
on.
neck just was like, oh,
Freddy
dead,
killed-
trampled.
I said this before. 50% of the movie is scary shit, caused by Freddy Krueger doing weird things.
Yeah.
And the other half is caused by stupid people panicking. Like the guy getting trampled to death, His dad destroying the house, trying to kill the bird.
Yeah.
And then his
Like,
dad almost killing all the kids with a shotgun.
Yeah, he doesn't even aim the
Shooting
shotgun.
into a crowd.
Freddy is clearly there. It's not like only the kids can see him. The dad comes out, the dad shirtless with his man boobs bouncing. Like
We
out
didn't
of
talk about that dad's man boobs yet.
it was like some Pamela Anderson shit.
That had huge man
Again,
boobs.
going back to the movie itself, it's not surprising that there was man boobs.
Just like
in it.
Kramer said in Seinfeld, he's like, they were real hooters.
He electrified the gate with like 80s effects.
He's
like
like
neon.
It was like shock.
Tron.
Remember that
And you know
one?
what, though? If the movie ended at the pool party scene, it might be passable. What takes us all took me out of it, though, is she goes to the place where Freddy was killed.
Yeah, which is like one of those. I don't even know
And
what
it just
that
turns
is.
into like a funhouse.
It's like a smelting plant.
Yeah, like if you ever been out west to like Nevada or
it's
like
where the T-800 killed the T-1000.
all right,
Oh,
like
that's my-
out west in like Nevada and like Arizona area in the desert. There's like those smelting plants, I guess they are, like peppered throughout the whole place. So it's like she just found one of them. It looks like one of those maps from Call of Duty too, by the way. That's all I was thinking
She
of.
goes there, Michael Vick's dogs attack. It's the whole thing.
Yeah. Those fucking dogs are actually getting an action figure form finally. They're
Really?
releasing
The
an
dog-
Ultimate Freddy from this movie, and it has those two dog head things.
Wow.
And a flame behind his back for the scene where he says the line. 'Cause
There was-
This one has the first time he ever says, "You're all my children."
You are all my children now.
Oh
He
wow.
never said that in the original movie.
So Lisa goes to this industrial plant and confronts Freddy.
But it turns into like a carnival ride. It's
Yeah.
like, around this corner's a trap.
You know what the
Whoa.
problem is? You know why it's so unforgivable? There's no context to it. There's like the rat is brought back in.
Yeah,
But then there's
and
like a cat and the dog's like that's never.
It's just a
And
series of
they
scares.
both
But,
like
like-
turn into
Yeah,
monsters.
because they go to that building earlier in the movie. Remember?
But if
they
it
go
was
there
like-
and open that cabinet and find the rat.
This is
Like,
where Freddy Krueger killed his dogs, you know, and then they came back later. It would make sense.
Yeah.
But there was really no point for that to be
It's
there.
just a haunted house ride.
And that's what sucks about the ending is like the last 10 minutes of this movie are ridiculous, and then Freddy Krueger is killed with the power of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like what Anne
Yeah,
Hathaway said in
hold on.
Interstellar.
Remember when the gas pipes just turned on by themselves and it was
Yeah.
never explained, and
Or
then
then
it
it
turned
goes
off?
off
after?
after he was dead.
I guess you could
Yeah.
say that was Jesse's spirit helping
That was
out.
Jesus interfering.
No, it was. It was divine
the
intervention.
Holy Ghost.
Or what? Lisa falls through the fucking grate at the bottom, but
But
then
then
she's
Oh,
not.
and you clearly see that she was bracing to hold on to the
Yeah.
yeah,
pole
but
too. She's like,
beyond that, it's just like she falls, but then immediately like smash
Well,
cut
so
zoom,
you know,
and then
it's
in
the
the
message
remake,
the
the
movie's
Joker
actually
made her Harley
sending.
Quinn.
You have to be straight, and then you don't have any problems. 'Cause if you go for the girl,
Is that
Freddy dies.
Is that what?
Freddy comes after me tonight, Mike. I'm making out with
Is
you.
Freddy Krueger
More so than I usually
an
do.
allegory for homosexuality?
Yes,
And
in
he
this movie.
rejects it at the end and
Yes.
goes with the girl?
Yes. And I'm not like that's not even a
It's
joke.
not like a satire
That's
thing.
not
what
like
happens
that's
in the
what
movie.
a lot of people have taken out of this movie. Is that Freddy Krueger is this suppressed homosexuality, and then he comes out and it's bad.
And he
then,
comes out with the gym coach in the shower.
Yeah, yeah, and then Freddy Krueger literally comes out of his body, and then to get him back, you have to
Kills
kiss
his
the
friend.
girl, and then it's gone. And
Damn.
I am not
So what you're
thinking
saying
this-
is that Freddy's just trying to save this kid from homosexuality by killing all.
Freddy
Freddy
is
is
homosexuality.
Freddy's trying to scare him straight.
All that homosexual undertone or overtones
Overtone,
aside,
yeah.
it's like that's not. We're not saying that's what makes the movie bad. It's
No.
it's a bad movie.
It's just, but it's like on top of that really mean-spirited, like anti-gay message, it sucks.
Yeah,
the
it's-
whole movie fucking sucks.
It's not scary. It's
It
just
sucks.
yeah. It's just it's the pacing's all off. It's not scary at all. Like when she's in the in the smelting plant and those things pop at her. It's just like boo.
Yeah. It's
So-
like, maggots.
Here's an idea. What made the original Nightmare on Elm Street so good that worked in that movie, but didn't work in this one?
It's creativity, and I think that the creativity behind a lot of what the scares would be or the concepts, it was this really original idea, and it was executed really well. This was like kind of just aping off of it, not following those rules, and just throwing Freddy into just any mishmash story.
So it's just like a half-assed sequel.
It's like a half. Yeah,
The
it's a
terror
expand
of
on the
not being
lore.
able to control your dreams is pretty scary. Like you could just fall asleep and fucking get sucked into a hole in your bed and turn into a blood water fountain.
And this one was like a weird duality of man story, like
Yeah.
killer in us all.
Yeah.
Like they should have made a sequel, but this shouldn't have been.
Well,
it.
that's why Dream
This
Warriors
was rushed out with like less than a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is like
And
a
it
year
shows.
later.
Oh yeah.
It shows. And if you watch Dream Warriors Nightmare on Elm Street 3, that's the real sequel to the first one. It ignores 2. It doesn't say 2 didn't happen. It just doesn't address it. And it follows up the first one so well in a way that this one just completely botched it.
Well, the implication is that Nancy died in the second one.
First one.
No, in this
Well,
one they
she
tried
died
to make
in the first
They
one,
tried to
but
make
the
it sound like
second
she's
one-
dead because
Yeah.
they didn't have her back for the
But
sequel.
then she comes back in
3.
And she's older, and like
She
she's
got-
meant to be aged up, so it's been a
Yeah.
couple years. Like
Yeah, I mean, so what? They just sort of said she went crazy. In 2, they said she went crazy. So
Because they
it
find her
could-
diary.
You could kind of take that into 3, saying, oh, maybe she did go into an asylum, and it sort of influenced her future, and
Yeah.
that's sort of how she becomes a
They
like
never
therapist.
explicitly say it, but I mean, based on how the first one ends and how they talk about her in the second one, I think the implication is that she was killed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because when her and everyone drove away in the car at the end of the first one, and then
Which is
her
how this one
mom
ended, too.
turns into a puppet and then gets sucked through the window,
I hate it when that happens.
This was like a cookie cutter copy of the first ending,
Yes.
except replace the car with a bus.
Yes. So with the ending, after all the shenanigans happen, and the power of love brings Jesse back.
The power of straight love.
Yeah,
Jesse
even though he's should be in jail for killing his friend and fucking a bunch of other shit up.
On that point, like, the whole time we're led to believe that Freddy Krueger is Jesse. So, like, does it look like Freddy Krueger when he's killing all these people?
I mean, when he looked in the mirror, he looked like Freddy Krueger. But
yeah, but
after
when we saw him as an audience, he was Jesse. So does that mean that, like, when he's like flying out the glass and popping through the bot, like, is that just Jesse?
I'm gonna say it's Freddy Krueger, or else maybe he would have
But that
actually.
doesn't make any sense.
But here's the thing: the police in that town are totally inept anyway, because later in the franchise they just lock everyone up.
Yes.
I would say,
And
no,
give him
like, if they were at the
syndrome.
party and it was Freddy but looked like Jesse, there was no way he would have been on the bus at the end of the movie. Like, the kids would have
But
been
he
freaked out by
clearly
him.
killed
it
the
was like, you
friend.
fucking freak, you killed
Exactly.
all my friends.
Yeah, but
Like,
the door
hey,
was
how you
sealed
doing?
shut
And-
with sticky glue.
And the friend, yeah, like, the friend sees him fucking cocoon
The
into...
friend sees him as Freddy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I take that, and, I take that as people... when he turns into Freddy, people see
used
Freddy. And then
Jesse's fear to take over his body
Yeah.
and be reborn. Like, it's just another... They don't follow up on this. Really, I mean, in the fifth movie, they have Freddy trying to take over the body of a baby
But he
in
never,
the
like,
womb,
emerges.
But he never comes all the way out. But this movie, this goes with the idea that Freddy is trying to find a new way to get two people.
And that gives me the
he
same
gave up
thing.
on his dreams.
So
The ending. Sorry.
So in wrapping up this subpar horror movie with the
Subpar.
so with the end, Jesse goes into his school bus, meets his new girlfriend and her friend, and they ride off into the sunset. Or do they? Looks like Freddy might be intervening.
That's what happens.
That's pretty much what happened.
Oh my god!
So in wrapping this up, let's rate Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge. Give it a letter grade. Dan, if you want to start.
See, I love this movie in a guilty pleasure sort of way.
Oh, like I love Terminator
So,
3. Even though it's great.
I would watch this before Terminator 3 like any day of the week. Not to mention it's shorter, that helps too. But
yeah, it's short.
I feel like this is like if we're going like, I think this could be like a solid C. Like for a horror movie rating, it's honestly like, it follows a formula of a horror movie, just has really out there weird shit, has great effects. Like, it might not actually be effectively scaring you, but the ideas it has in there back in the time when it came out could have made people very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We're sitting there making fun of it the whole time I was playing, and that's also why I give it such a high rating, is because it's so much fun to watch with other people. Like, a lot of the other movies in this franchise, sure, they have funny jokes in them, but this one, like, there's something about watching it in a group environment that, if you're just watching it by yourself, you're like, I don't want to finish this. But
Yeah.
it was fun to watch with other people.
I'm gonna give this movie a solid F on the horror scale.
F for Freddy?
F for Fred Krueger. Hold on. Let me explain why. There are better movies in this series to watch in group of people. I would have rather watched Dream Warriors. Warriors, and I would have had
I
a
wanna see
great
that
time.
now.
I would have rather watched New Nightmare. I would have rather watched 4 or 5. To me, this is the second worst entry in the series, with 6 being the worst.
No, I can't say that it's not a bad movie, but there's a difference between watching this and watching Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors, we're all watching,
Yeah, and we're
cheering
watching.
along and everything. This is like one of those movies that you watch and you're like, the perfect point of the show is to watch something that we're gonna have a good time with.
I get that, but still, to me, this is like, it's a shitty movie, it's a shitty sequel, and it's shitty because it's kind of like making fun of gay people. It's kind of just shitty.
Would you rather watch this 5 or 6 out of those?
5.
5.
I'd rather watch 5 than this one.
I'd give this movie a D. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It wasn't hideous, which is still the worst movie of all time.
Benjamin Carr.
But it definitely wasn't a great movie. Mike?
I mean, I guess like would C- work? Like
Sure.
somewhere, but like
Why not?
it seems kind of middle of the road, but leaning more towards bad. Obviously, there's way worse.
Oh, there's
And
way worse. I just don't like it as a sequel.
Right, and it's very forgettable. So much so that they forget it later. Yeah, like it's not going to be the one. I would watch 6 before I watch this.
As far as movies go, it's an F easy. As far as like horror movies go, I'd give it like a D just because it's, or a C- just because it's uninspired, but at the same time you can still get something out of it. It's not like it's like impossible to watch. You can sit through it.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can get something out of it. And we hope that you got something out of this review here on the Blah Blah Podcast YouTube page. Boys, please join me in touching the sacrificial orb. The orb of confusion.
It's a symbol of our unity as nations. Insert picture here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can subscribe to us here on YouTube. Also subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and Podbean. That's right, we're Blah Blah Podcast. Also follow us on Twitter at Blah Blah Pod1. Follow me on Twitter, JGScream89. And jgreen89@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have a great night and a scary Halloween.
Unlimited power!
Ah!